What's up, everybody? Oh, wow, Lily, you just got me. I was worried for a second that I had slept through multiple days because I saw Happy Friday. It has been a week, hasn't it? It's been a week since I did anything with the channel. I was supposed to do several videos this week, and it never happened. So, really sorry. But next week we're celebrating 1 year. 1 year here over on King's Advisors. So, pretty excited about that. How's everyone's weekend so far? Or, sorry, week. How's everyone's week so far? What's up, Stephen Brown, Mayor Lily, and Marianne? How are y'all doing today? Hope everyone's having a great day. Hope everyone's having a great week. It's been a really good week for me. Not for anything, no like, big thing. It's just been a good week. I've enjoyed work. I've had a good time playing Xbox over here on my computer. It's just been nice. Of course, a lot of news this week. The craziest thing, less than an hour ago, guys, look at this. From the U.S. Justice Department. Our men and women in uniform are trusted with classified information in order to accomplish their mission as safely and effectively as possible, and are prohibited from using this highly sensitive information for personal financial gain. Widespread access to prediction markets is a relatively new phenomenon, but federal law protects national security information. But federal laws protecting national security information fully apply. So, a U.S. Special Forces soldier was arrested today. He was part of the capture of Maduro, and he had placed a bet. He bet more than $30,000 on Polymarket that Maduro would be removed, and he made over $400,000. That's wild. I swear. I just don't understand why you would think that's okay to do. That's loud. Yeah, well, so this is one of those reasons why I think what do you call it? Why I think Polymarket and Kalshi, or however the fuck you say it, is just they're bad ideas, because this kind of shit is going to happen all the time. Even if it's illegal, it's still going to happen. What's up, Risk It? How you doing, buddy? You're going to have people show up. You're going to have people make the dumbest bets. There was one the other day. Let me see if I can find it. Hair dryer. Here we go. A hair dryer at a Paris airport broke Polymarket weather markets and made someone $34,000 richer. Now, obviously, I don't know if this is true. I'm just reading what I see on Twitter. You know, that thing we were told not to believe. Polymarket was settling Paris temperature bets on a single Matteo France sensor sitting near the Charles de Gaulle runway perimeter, basically unguarded. The guy bought the long shot outcome, like 22 degrees Celsius, when everyone was expecting 18 degrees Celsius, for pennies, since nobody thought it hit. Then he walked up to the probe and briefly heated the air around it with a portable heat source, spiking the reading just long enough to register as the daily max. Temperature snapped back to normal in minutes. The market resolved in his favor, and he cashed out twice on April 6th and 15th before Matteo France caught on and filed charges. Like, this stuff is going to keep happening. And this is why I think someone, poly markets always posting on X trying to sway their own markets. So, and I got a friend of mine that he hasn't done it in a little while. And honestly, I'm kind of happy he hasn't because I've been kind of tired of having to deal with it. But he was sending me like poly market or Kalshi, 82% chance the Democrats take over the House and the Senate. And it's like, dude, you're not going to believe in polls, but you're going to believe in the people that want to win money because of the polls. Like, that's what we're talking about here. The Kalshi and poly market are just another poll. That's all it is. And I would argue with an even smaller base than a regular statistician's poll. Brisket says it's been a day. Oh, and D-Day Cobra just went live, which means something happened. I bet he's going to talk about the... Oh, what's this? I saw this. So earlier today, the Shah was walking around Germany, and some guy went over there and threw stuff at him. And this dude ends up being the son of some IRGC member. Freaking insane. What? Good evening, Andy. Sorry, we haven't had Welcome to the Rebellion in almost a week. So I'm just trying to make sure that y'all get your moments of silence. Let's see. What's up, Debbie? How you doing? Yeah, Risk It. You're exactly right, man. This stuff that we're finding out about the SPLC, oh my god, I don't remember what it's called, the Southern Poverty Law Center, is freaking insane. Plus, and also stuff that we pretty much already knew. Again, we turned out to be right. I'm trying to delay talking about Virginia a little bit longer. Ow. And Lily's right as well that the amount of leaks coming out of the Supreme Court, and again, all seems to start when Justice Jackson gets there. I don't know if this is on purpose. I don't know if she's trying to ruin stuff, but there seems to be a pattern here. Oh, let me turn that down. Did y'all see this was this was pretty funny. Let me see if I can find it. Let me just look it up. So California had their governor debate, I think last night, and there were some, or it might have been 2 nights ago. No, last night. And there were some pretty freaking hilarious moments in that thing. So let's try and find it. See, I want to be a little careful. I'll use this. I want to be a little careful because so many channels are getting hit with bullshit that I don't want to end up because I play a clip or something that they go, oh, that's not real content. So the candidates for California's governor grade Governor Gavin Newsom on his handling of homelessness. Xavier Becerra, who must be just like, how do I say this nicely? Greatly in love with Gavin Newsom, clearly. Gave him an A. The 2 Republicans gave him Fs. Katie Porter gave him a B. Tom Steyer and Matt Mahan also gave him a B. Do not forget, and this has been kind of the thing that's been really kind of annoying about this governor's race, do not forget just how bad of a person Katie Porter is. Katie Porter is the person that was caught just ridiculing her staff to the point that because what is she right now? Is she the lieutenant governor? She's something. Or maybe she was. Maybe she used to be in Congress and now she's not. Well, whatever she is. The government's HR people had to go talk to her to get her to stop being so mean to her staff. She would be a terrible governor. So you got no shot at winning, really. This was the video I was talking about.
My fucking shot, and the state could lose. Get out of my fucking shot.
I wanted to tell you that that's actually incorrect. It's not that it's electric vehicles. It's that if we don't make the commitments under the Paris Climate Accord.
Okay, it does. Okay, you also were in my shot before that. Stay out of my shot. Okay, I'm going to start again with electric vehicles saving us money. Perfect.
What a bitch. Klobuchar? No, Klobuchar is Minnesota. Yeah, this woman, she knows nothing. She's one of those talk that sits there and tells you that electric vehicles will save us millions and billions of dollars in the long run, when you have to burn more coal at more plants to provide that electricity. It's the same issue that Elon Musk has, that he seems unable to understand, that solar energy is not the answer to any energy crisis we have. The answer is nuclear. In fact, I'm going to see if I can find it real quick. Hang on. No, that's just complete bullshit. There was a graph that I saw the other day. I didn't expect this to come up, so that's why I didn't save it. There's a graph I saw the other day that showed just how insane people reacted to 3 Mile Island. Maybe media. work by magic. 100%. No. Nope. Damn, this sucks. It could have been, would have been nice to see it. So basically, I'm just going to kind of describe it. It just shows right around 78 or 73, whenever 3 Mile Island happened, the amount of nuclear power in the United States drops exponentially. I think it's only at like 8 or 9% right now, which is what's wild about California. So California gets about 20% of its energy from a nuclear plant that's in Arizona, and they still have huge energy costs. Blows my mind. I don't think I'm going to be able to find it. Oh, well. That's too bad. It was a pretty cool graph. If I find it, I'll tweet it. Oh, well. Let's see. Hoagie says they want to use electricity but don't want to build the power plants, but it will work as a magic. Bullshit. Which I actually think I already read out. So did Trump do the pot thing today? See, he posted something about CBD stuff. This too. Chernobyl happened not because the Soviets did everything right, but because almost everything they did was wrong. It's the same reason why the Deepwater Horizon happened. Deepwater Horizon happened not because BP, followed all the rules and everything, because the executives from BP that showed up on Deepwater Horizon bypassed like half the safety regulations and then lied about this invisible pressure barrier thing and just made it up to convince the people in charge on the platform that they could go ahead and start drilling, and they couldn't. And the people on the platform didn't want to drill, but they were 43 days behind. And they felt like they needed to because BP was pressuring them. $836 billion company. No, $186 billion company, and they couldn't wait another week. Yeah, I'm in a weird mood right now because right now all I want to talk about is the stuff going on with the Xbox because I'm really excited for it, but wrong stream. Okay, fuck it. Let's talk about Virginia. Okay, let me pull this stuff up. No, first I want to talk about this. First, because I was going to do a video on this, but I've changed my mind. We're going to talk about this. Okay, so Vivek Ramaswamy did a TPUSA event the other day where he said a couple things. Okay, one of the things he said, he's getting a lot of hate for this, and I think he should. I'm kind of mixed on it. Let me see if I can find it. Nope. Okay, so this is all I can really get. He goes into this thing kind of talking about what it means to be an American. He says, you cannot go to Japan and become Japanese. You cannot go to Italy and be Italian. You cannot go to Germany and be German. But you can come to America, and as long as you believe in the ideas of 1776, believe that men are created equal, that we believe that our rights are given to us by God, not by our government, it means that we, the people, create government that's accountable to us rather than the other way around. That you can become American as long as you believe that. He's getting a whole lot of hate about that, saying that it takes more than just basically a piece of paper to be an American. And the people saying that are 100% right. That absolutely takes more than just saying this is the three or four things that I believe, or semi-assimilating. But to act like becoming an American does not require this stuff is bullshit to me. I think people that you got a whole bunch of people that do not like Ramaswamy, who, and I don't really have an opinion about the guy one way or another, but you got a whole bunch of people who do not like the guy because of his H-1B visa stuff, which I agree is BS at best. But to completely clown him and act like nothing he says is right, in my opinion at least, is severely the wrong way to look about it. And also one of the reasons why the left constantly wins in the unification fight, and the right spends, 8 of the 9 innings fighting itself and punching itself in the dick, and then finally goes, "Oh my God, we have to fight back!" And suddenly starts fighting. Drug 3PO coming in with 5 gifted subs, man. Memberships. How you doing, man? We've got Welcome to the Rebellion in the morning, and I can finally sit down with my coffee and my breakfast sandwich and listen to Jay say nothing. I've been missing the quiet. I've been missing the moments where you just... Anyway. Thanks so much, man. We've got 1 year coming up soon. 1 year. Next week, we'll be celebrating 1 year. It's going to be fun. I want to see if I can find what he actually said, because I just don't think I did it justice. Let me see. Let me take a second here and see if I can find it. Oh, hang on. This might be it. So it's a little less. Hang on. So this is Benny Johnson's reply to it. Let me save that. All right. Here's what it was. Let me share this tab instead. You can travel to Italy, but you'll never be an Italian. You can travel to France, but you'll never be a Frenchman. You can live in Germany, but you'll never be a German. You can pack your bags and live the rest of your life in China or Japan, but you'll never be Chinese or Japanese. Yet, you can come from one of those countries to the United States of America, and you can still be an American. So long as you work hard, you play by the rules, and you make your contributions. Wait your turn, pledge allegiance to the flag, and obtain your citizenship. Benny Johnson then goes to him saying, I'm not going to sit here and even attempt to clown, argue, or say that Benny Johnson's wrong. Okay, Benny Johnson has been wrong. Sure, we've all been wrong. But Johnson then says this. He puts this on Twitter. Vivek Ramaswamy is dead wrong on what it means to be an American. Yesterday, Vivek said that you can't just move to France, become French. Yeah. He's right. But then Vivek makes the obscene argument that all 9 billion people on Earth can all move to America and magically become American. That's not what he said. Okay, that's not what Vivek Ramaswamy said. Vivek Ramaswamy got up there and he said, in order to be American, you have to A, play by the rules and do what's right. Okay, I'm simplifying, but that's what it is. Okay, if you want to become an American citizen, you must enter, and you're not an American citizen, obviously. You must enter through a port of, I don't even remember what they're called, port of immigration, let's call it, Ellis Island. It's the 3 or 4 places they got down there in Mexico. You have to enter one of those. You have to say, hi, I want to be an American. You got to go through the process. You got to do, that's the start of it. How else does someone who is not an American become an American? But once you get that process going, there's other things you must do. There's intrinsic American things you must do. Part of that is you need to learn American history. You need to learn the good and the bad. You need to learn about the amazing feats of American engineering. You need to learn about the people that died building the Hoover Dam. Learn about the people that climbed the cliffs at Dover. Sorry, not Dover. At Pointe du Hoc. Learn about the insanity and the sadness of the Trail of Tears. Learn everything. That's how you become an American. Well, that's the part of the process. And then you keep going. You keep doing better. You contribute to your city, town, country, wherever you are. But Vivek's not sitting here saying all you got to do is come over, check the boxes, and you're done. And I think for Benny to say that, I don't know, it just bugs me when I see this kind of shit going on, where you get someone that it just feels like it's popular and it gets you clicks to say Vivek's wrong about something. When it's really like, I think he's kind of wrong, but he's also kind of right. Like, he's not sitting here giving Ramaswamy wasn't sitting there giving a policy decision. He was giving a 10-minute speech at a Turning Point USA event. What'd you want? I don't know. That's just me. I don't know if I'm overreading it, underreading it, or what. What do y'all think? Am I just being an idiot? It's happened. And see, so this is where I'm at on what Benny said. He says, a nation is its people. You took all the Japanese out of Japan, it wouldn't be Japan anymore. Agreed. If Japan people become a vanishing minority in Japan, it won't be Japan anymore. I agree. If America becomes a UN refugee camp of infinite foreign enclaves, each one with their own alien traditions and allegiances and languages, we will atomize American culture. 100%, he is absolutely right. But again, that's not what Vivek was saying. How I read what Vivek said is part of becoming American is assimilating into American culture. Okay, you come over from Korea, you can still like K-pop. You want to listen to BTS or whatever they're called? Fine. But do not sit there and tell everyone that all you're going to do is listen to BTS. Plus, the driving force behind the popularity of K-pop is the American market. Let's be honest. the goal of every single country on the planet is to get something popular in America. We are the number one importer of entertainment. There is no one even remotely close to how much money we spend on entertainment. So, again, Vivek's not sitting there saying, we need little Haiti and little China and or Chinatown and little Vietnam and all that stuff. I think they're terrible. I think those are terrible places. They're raft with crime. They're why is Pete sorry guys, sorry. Why is Pete Rose trending? Sorry, I got really excited. I saw Pete Rose trending, and I thought maybe there was news. Never mind. I just completely derailed my own stream. That was pathetic. Yeah, I think the enclaves that we see in big cities, I think they're terrible places. They're incredibly unsafe if you're anything but that group. If you go to Chinatown and you're not Chinese, it's pretty dangerous for you to be there. At least for like an extended period of time. If you go to Little Haiti, it is extremely dangerous for you to be. They're going to eat your dog, remember? But it's necessary. Allowing legal entry is necessary because we live in a world where people travel. But to act like you can never have someone become an American who wasn't born in this country is just ridiculous. You absolutely can. It just requires more than just signing a piece of paper. That's where I'm at. That's what I'm talking about. Eat the dog. Eat the dogs. Huh? Of course, Daily Mail put this behind a paywall. The lesbian sex secrets of Kristi Noem's ICE leader, ex-lovers claim. Huh. Well, this as well. Learn English. I'm tired of having to press 1. Okay, let's talk about Virginia. So, the Virginia election on Tuesday was really interesting for a lot of reasons. Okay, I'm hoping I saved the map I saw the other day. And now I realize I did not. Virginia map election. There we go. Okay. We're going to save that. And we're going to go back up to this to show both maps. Okay. Hokies, I will get to that. So, Virginia apparently voted by a very narrow margin for this new map, this new congressional map. This was their old map. It was what? 6-4? 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6-5. So it was a 6-5 state. The last couple times they've had an election, they've been 6-5, 5-6. I mean, it's a pretty even map. Honestly, it's one of the least, in my opinion, one of the least gerrymandered states I've ever seen. I think North Carolina is probably the best example of a state because it is incredibly ungerrymandered. But a court over in Tawazi County, I don't know how you say it, Tazewell County, which is right about here. Hang on, there we go. Tazewell County is right here, I believe. Ruled that the election could not be certified, and that what did he rule? Let me see. Let me find the actual ruling. This is your quiet moments. Let's do this. Okay. Tazewell County Circuit Court Judge Jack Hurley ruled against certifying the results of the Virginia April 21st, 2026 redistricting referendum. Voters had narrowly approved a controversial Democrat-backed proposal for mid-decade redistricting. And again, extremely narrow. And one of the things I wanted to save, and I did, I'm very happy about that. Let me pull that up. Again, let me open another Twitter tab. One day I will pull something that isn't from Twitter. So this was the results of the counties. This shows where everything went. So Alexandria literally is it. This is the Democratic stronghold of Virginia. Almost every other place. You got a little bit down here in Norfolk. Tiny little bit here. I forget what's right here. South of Richmond. I'm assuming this is another town, another city. And then you got Alexandria. It's all those stupid federal employees who do not want the size of the government to shrink. So this is compared with the 2024 presidential vote. So what this is showing is every single arrow is showing that the county went further right. So again, you know what? Okay, so this county on the far, right here, far left of Virginia, right here. This county went even further right than they did in the election. That's what it's saying. So this entire rural area of Virginia outperformed the presidential election. This is what you're going to hear people all over the country over the next 4, 5, 6, 7 months, 4 months, 6 months, really, because we're near the end of the month. You're going to hear people over the next 6 months talk about how the right will not show up. They showed up. Okay. They might have still lost. Okay. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think they're really going to, because the court's going to overturn this easily. I'll talk about what the where the issues are in this election in just a bit. But the entire state of Virginia, for the most part, outperformed a presidential election. That's unheard of for a random referendum. Not necessarily random, but for a referendum, not even in November. So for anyone sitting there thinking that, we're doomed or you're blackpilling or anything, this is proof, further proof. Again, do not forget, a month ago, the Republicans flipped a +8 Harris seat in Alaska. They kept Marjorie Tyrell Greene's seat in Georgia. Okay? This is not something to be doom and gloom about. J.D. Vance is right. Stop blackpilling. Now, let's talk about the actual election. Okay? Not election. Vote. There wasn't an election. So Judge Hurley sided with Republican plaintiffs and issued a permanent injunction against these main outcomes. He declared the proposed constitutional amendment and the legislative process behind it invalid from the start due to multiple violations of Virginia law and the state constitution. He ruled that all votes cast in the April 21st special election are ineffective, ordered the Virginia Department of Elections not to certify the results, and barred state officials and legislators from taking any actions to implement the new maps or modify congressional districts. These are the reasons cited by the judge. The General Assembly failed to follow the required procedural rules when passing and referring the amendment. Issues being with timing, special session rules. Remember that special session was called for a particular purpose. Special sessions in Virginia have to be called for a particular purpose. You can only take up legislation for those purposes. A special session to redraw the congressional districts was not called. The ballot language was flagrantly misleading, is a direct quote from him, and did not meet constitutional standards for clarity. And the overall effect violated Virginia constitutional requirements for amending the Constitution and redistricting. There was someone, I don't even remember what he is, I think he's an attorney in Virginia, that was talking about how it is quite possible this is a 7-0, is it 7 or is it 8 on the Virginia Supreme Court? Excuse me. Seven. There are 7 justices on the Virginia Supreme Court. There are several people out there talking about how this is likely to be a 7-0 decision to overturn this. That it is so blatantly against the law up there that it doesn't even matter, Sean. It's literally like saying that someone was walking down the street with a sign that said, go vote. And they were arrested for telling people to vote. That is clear violations of amendments and rights. And that's the level we're at on this. So there's a guy I follow that explained the issues that happened pretty well. And so I'm just going to kind of use that to make my explanation here. The amendment was taken up during a special session convened in 2024 for budget reasons. The General Assembly's own call to the governor under Article 4, Section 6 and Article 5, Section 5, and its governing resolution, HJR 6001, limited the session's scope, expanding it to include a constitutional amendment on redistricting required a 2/3 vote that never occurred. A Tazewell County judge, this same judge, found this action void ab initio, meaning void from the start, because it's kind of like when y'all seen this on court TV shows and stuff like that. When you have a piece of evidence that's found from an illegal search or something, anything found in that search is fruit from the poisonous tree. You cannot use it as if it does not exist, unless you're able to prove that you could have found it using something else. But that's a different story. That's basically what this judge is saying, that it is as if this never happened. Article 12, Section 1 requires that first passage, a proposed amendment be, quote, referred to the General Assembly at its first regular session held after the next general election of members of the House delegates. An election must intervene between first and second passage. Here, first passage occurred during an election cycle, not before an intervening one. Article 12, Section 1 also requires the amendment to be submitted to voters not sooner than 90 days after final passage by the General Assembly. The timeline from second passage to April 21st vote did not satisfy this requirement. Plus, one challenged the proposed maps. Article 2, Section 6 requires that every electoral district shall be composed of contiguous and compact territory. The proposed congressional maps, as you can see right here in the bottom one, I don't know if I can zoom in here. It's not going to let me zoom into the actual map. The proposed congressional maps violate the continuity requirement, meaning that you've got stuff all the way over here being represented by people that live over here. This is just the whole thing. This whole thing just is wild to me. And then again, people keep blaming Texas. You get Democrats that keep saying, "Well, you're upset that that Virginia did it. What about Texas? Why do you tell?" People forget the reason Texas redistricted is not because Trump called and said, "Hey, redistrict." It's because New York did it. New York redistricted first. They cut out like 3 different Republicans. They're the ones that started this, but no one wants to talk about that. New York has a history of doing whatever they can to fuck over Donald Trump. Let's see. Let me see if he's got any more updates on this. No, so we won't have that until the country does another census. I'm looking for. Who asked me? Hokies. No, it cannot go to the Supreme Court of the United States. This is a state issue. Everything involves state law. It's the state constitution. It has zero to do with federal law. It cannot go to the federal courts. But again, look, as liberal as, and actually, I don't even know if that's true. Let's see what Wikipedia says about the Supreme Court, the Virginia Supreme Court. Let's see. So Supreme Court justices are elected. I don't want to spend the time Googling this. Let's just ask Grok. leaning of the Supreme Court of Virginia. Generally described as a small C conservative in its judicial philosophy. It emphasizes tradition, precedent, and a textualist or originalist leaning approach to interpret the law of Virginia's Constitution. So their current composition. Experts and attorneys who practice before the court currently consider this Supreme Court not to be overly partisan. It apparently tends to prefer an originalist approach. In contract law, it's called the four corners of contract, where if it's not on the paper, it's not part of it. So, seeing as how what I was talking about earlier is literally in the Virginia Constitution, I get it. You've got people that practice before this Supreme Court weekly telling people this is probably going to be a 7-0 decision to overturn this. I think this gets decided. I think they've already got oral arguments getting ready to get scheduled. Let's see where the new VA map court case. Sean, I think you're blackpilling, dude. What do we say here? Do not blackpill. Stop sitting there and thinking about the worst of it, okay? I get it. I totally understand. Why is it this group? I get that it feels like it's loss after loss after loss. But it's not. Sean, I get it. I understand you did, but PA is not Virginia. Okay, Virginia genuinely might be one of the most balanced states in the country. Okay, the last 7 elections they've done, it's been basically 48-52 either way. It genuinely and by balance, I also mean the most what is the word? Crazy women who go left, right, left, right, left, right. What are they called? Bipolar. And Virginia is the most bipolar country or state there is. I want to see if let's see if Jay Jones left this up. Is this him? Yeah. Okay. Maybe it's the AG's Twitter account? Here we go. I love this. My office will immediately file an appeal in the Court of Appeals. As I said last night, Virginia voters have spoken, and an activist judge should not have the veto power over the people's vote. We look forward to defending the outcome of last night's election in court. Oh my God. How about read the room? I cannot believe This went because this went through like 5 different people before it got posted. No one sat in there and said, "Hey, by the way, I mean, this is kind of what the Republicans keep saying. Do we really want to say the same thing they do? Do we really want to allow them to make jokes about this?" Like, someone's getting fired over this. I promise you, there's going to be a intern on the bread line tomorrow because of this tweet. It's hilarious. Right it. It's okay when they rule against Trump, but it's not okay when they rule against you. Is the NFL draft tonight? Holy shit, is it draft day? Huh. I had no idea. Okay, well. Fun. Awesome. I hope hope Panthers draft a good guy. All right. What do we think? What do we think about this Spirit Airlines thing? I think it's a dumb idea. I think they should just fail. Like, why can't companies fail anymore? You know what I mean? Like, Spirit Airlines, you know how you fail as an airline when you provide cheap flights? You have terrible customer service. Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't like the idea of funneling money. Look, the Intel thing's different, okay? Intel is a company that is never going away. Just never is. It would be almost like buying stock in IBM. It's never going away. Okay. The Intel thing, we or they or whoever bought at $20 and the stock's worth $80 now. It's a huge return. But there's just zero way that the government runs an airline effectively, especially because it's not like, remember, the government bought like an 8% stake of Intel or whatever it was. It wasn't some controlling share. They don't run Intel, but they would run Spirit. And there's no way that a committee is going to run a company well. They don't run them well right now. Um, I don't know. I'm just not into it. I think Spirit should be allowed to fail, and someone should go. Delta or JetBlue, whoever should go buy up the parts. Exactly. The people in charge are the reason they don't have any money. Hang on. This is a big deal. I wish this was about Iran, but this is still a pretty big deal. The President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, Vice President of the United States, J.D. Vance, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Ambassador to Israel Mike Huckabee, and Ambassador to Lebanon Michael Issa met today with high-ranking. Who is Michael Issa? I feel like I know that name. I do not know that name. Met today with high-ranking representatives of Israel and Lebanon in the Oval Office. We saw a little bit of that earlier today on Twitter. The meeting went very well. The United States is going to work with Lebanon in order to protect itself from Hezbollah. The ceasefire between Israel and Lebanon will be extended by 3 weeks. I look forward in the near future to hosting the Prime Minister of Israel, Bibi Netanyahu, and the President of Lebanon, Joseph Aoun. It was a great honor to be a participant in this very historical meeting. So this, I think something might actually happen here, because let's review every single other ceasefire that we have seen that Israel is a part of. And I'm not going to sit here and say stuff that you're going to listen to Beardo. But whether it's them or someone else, something always happens. It's been like 10 days and nothing's happened. This might actually happen. That'd be awesome. And then maybe we get Iran fixed. I'm really kind of tired of dealing with it. This kind of scared. Oh, okay. Here we go. Here's another one. Trump's 2026 budget proposal cuts $736 million from the National Park Service. This is another thing the Democrats are running on. Trump doesn't like the American stuff. Trump wants to gut America. He wants to sell America to corporations. Biggest piece of bullshit ever. Go read what the and I think we talked about it on here. Let me see if I can find it. What is it? It's the Department of the Interior. In fact, I'm surprised they haven't responded to this yet. Maybe they have, and I just haven't seen it. No, National Park Service hasn't tweeted since the 13th. Doge National Park Service hasn't tweeted since the 17th of 2025. Department of the Interior. Isn't that what it's called? Yeah, here we go. It's U.S. Department of the Interior. See, this was a while ago. The Democrats are recycling a talking point from, like, I think 4 weeks ago almost, claiming that the Americans, or that the Trump's department wants to eradicate the beauty of American state park or national parks. Trying to see if I can find it. I'm down into March. I feel like this was before that. Y'all remember what I'm talking about? Still recycled January 6th, right? Replies. I'm just going to see if I find my bookmarks because I know I bookmarked it. While I'm looking for this, y'all should take some time over the next couple of weeks and go look up sovereign citizens courts and watch judges react to sovereign citizens. It is genuinely some of the most fun and entertaining shit you can do. I'm back down to March. I could have sworn this was early April. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was much longer ago. Fine, I'll just say what I remember. So what they ended up doing was they've closed a whole bunch of places. They've got millions of dollars that were being spent to pay for rent and things in a bunch of places where like one person or three people or four people were working. So what they've done is they've consolidated all of these offices. They've consolidated a bunch of the research facilities so that they're not paying like, $200 million for 900 spaces. Now they're paying like $50 million for 100 spaces. They've got a whole bunch of more people working together. They have they've closed a bunch of the like local offices of the park center and have consolidated them into more leadership roles so that again you don't have two people working in a office where three people go to every year. There's no reason to spend that money. Okay. Yeah. Is it convenient? Sure as hell is. But we don't have the money to keep throwing stupid money at failed ideas. Oh, this was definitely a while ago because this was even before what's her name resigned or got fired actually. No, Sean, that's not really something I'm going to talk about. I don't really think we know anything about it yet. Anything other than speculation and stuff like that. And that's just not something I want to spend time reading and looking into. Probably not a great thing. Probably a fault of mine, but that's just kind of where I'm at. That is the point. I can't find it. Oh, well, screw it. One of the things that I am really upset about this week is I was really hoping that we would get a decision on the Voting Rights Act this week. We have not. It's been 2 weeks now that they've been slow rolling this thing. I think this idea that the Democrats, or sorry, not the Democrats, that the liberals on the Supreme Court really are slow walking their dissent just shows that, you know, they're terrified of what's going to happen. Let's see. We got DHS and ICE funded for the next 3 years. So that's going to, is that going to the House or is that going to Trump? I think it's going to the House, right? See, continuing resolution number 33. Resolution 33. Wow, look at that. The sponsor was Senator Lindsey Graham. Actions. So where are we on it? Is it they come from? Well, if it's sponsored by Lindsey Graham, then it's a Senate resolution. It has to go. Yeah, it's got to be agreed to in the House. So it's going to go to the House. I mean, unless you get some dumbasses in the House. Well, that's my concern, Sean, is that you got people like Luna and them that will veto that, and they'll try to force the Senate to pass the SAVE Act. I don't know how I feel about it because this is something that needs to pass. This is also one of the things that needs to pass. Let's pull this off and change what we're looking at here. So electricity. I don't want to listen to him. Getting DHS and ICE funded and CBP funded so that I can go through what could be a bad year 3 and 4. That needs to happen. Honestly, what really needs to happen is the Republican states need to get together and pass their own SAVE Acts. You know, the states need to start doing this shit. It's ridiculous that you've got. I mean, I imagine you need. I know you need an ID here in South Carolina. I imagine you need one in Florida. But why? Like, let's see what Kentucky is. Just a random state. Kentucky voter ID laws. What to bring to vote in person? Proof of identification means a document that was issued by the United States or the Commonwealth of Kentucky, and the document contains the name, photograph, the United States Department of Defense, a branch of the Uniformed Services, the Merchant Marine, or the Kentucky National Guard. It must have the name, photograph, public or private college, university, yada, 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 name, photograph, any city government, county government, urban, yada, yada, name, photograph. Okay, so you need a photo ID in Kentucky. I picked Kentucky partly because they've got a Democrat governor but a very conservative legislature. Still don't know how the hell that happens. Let's look at North Carolina. Now, the SAVE Act is not only voter ID. There's a lot more in the SAVE Act than just voter ID. Here's an issue with North Carolina. North Carolina, all voters will be allowed to vote with or without a photo ID. This should be a photo ID. What's the breakup of North Carolina? I know Mecklenburg County goes super liberal. North Carolina state legislature. Let's see. There are 50 senators, 30-20 of that, 71-49. Why is this not passed? Are these... Well, so is this the problem with North Carolina? Because I'm pretty sure the governor in North Carolina, that's Roy Cooper, isn't it? He's a dumbass liberal. But this is true as well. If a voter, so this is from, I mean, this is .gov. If a voter cannot show an acceptable photo ID when voting in person, they can still vote by filling out an ID exception form. If absentee by mail voters are unable to include a copy of their photo ID with their ballot envelope, they will also fill out an ID exception form to return with the ballot. See ID exceptions below. ID exceptions. The voter has a reasonable impediment to not showing photo ID. You cannot get an ID because of like transportation, disability, illness, like a birth certificate or other documents needed to get an ID, work or school schedule, family responsibilities. Photo ID is lost, stolen, or misplaced. Apply for photo ID but has not received it. For male voters only. So you're saying you can, but it's probably not going to count. Okay, I see. Are there actually people that have religious objections to being photographed? I feel like this whole thing is kind of going off the religious objections to being photographed often stem from interpretations of the second commandment prohibiting graven images, or beliefs that photos foster vanity, pride, and individualism. Common among older Amish, Mennonites, and some conservative Muslim or Jewish sects, this practice emphasizes humility, while some objects to any image making others specifically forbid posing. So Amish and Mennonite beliefs, the Amish often refuse to pose for photos, viewing them as a violation of the prohibition against graven images. Islamic perspective, with some interpretations of Islamic hadith, I think I said that right, narrations prohibit image making of living creatures, which include photography, particularly for veneration. Okay, I mean, that's dumb. That's pretty dumb. But yeah, so I'm right there with the SAVE Act. It needs to go. It needs to pass. I'm right there, 100%. Let's do it. But the funding thing also needs to happen. And if I was Luna, one of the things I would be like is, look, yes, there's 2 or 3 things I'll make an exception for. Okay, but any other thing, we're not passing. So one of the things that bugs me, I think this is the last thing I'm going to talk about. One of the things that annoys me about how we pass laws in general is we pass them with like end dates on them. There's so many reconciliation tax bills that get passed with an end date on it, which is bullshit. You know, the only thing you get there, you read this law and it says, you know, let's look at the big beautiful bill. Okay, it says no tax on tips until 2031. It's like, whoa, What do you mean 2031? No, don't do it at all. If they want to tax tips in the future, make them pass it. Don't force them, because see, this is what's so annoying, okay? This is the same thing. Republicans and Democrats do this all the time. They campaign on something. They sort of do it, but they put a clock on it. That way, you have to vote them in again later so they can keep pushing it. It's the same reason why when Democrats held all two chambers and the presidency, they did not do anything about abortion or guns, because then they can't run on it. Republicans do the same thing. They can't run on guns if they do something to end the dumbassery that Democrats have with guns. No, absolutely not. You pass a law, it's the law. It doesn't change in 20 years. You want to change the law, change the law. Sunsetting is dumb. I'm not yelling at you, Sean. Well, I guess I kind of am. I'm not calling you dumb, but sunsetting a law is dumb. If you put a sunset on a law, it's not a law. It's a suggestion at best. Anything cool happened in the last hour? I'll never see Sean again in my chat. He's going to say, "Fuck you, Kings," and just completely disappear, right? This is the last thing I'm going to talk about. So Pulte is the U.S. Director of Federal Housing. They had a meeting today where they kind of talked about hang on. Where they talked about changing the way mortgages are decided, interest rates are decided, and things like that. And one of the things they want to do, and this is one of the things that bugs me, is they keep talking about wanting to do this. I don't think Pulte and Pulte Homes are related. It's James Pulte, I think. Bill Pulte. Oh, they are actually. Pulte. So Bill is the grandson of William J. Pulte, who founded the Pulte Group. I have never really heard anything bad about Pulte. I've dealt with them a little bit. My understanding is they're one of the better ones. So, I mean, if you've heard differently, I will also say that it also kind of depends on where you are. There are places that I've seen D.R. Horton is terrible, and then there are places that I've seen D.R. Horton's great. So it really does kind of end up on who your actual builder is, not just what name is on the sign on the road. But the Federal Housing Financing Agency has been, which is FHA, has been working to implement Vantage Score 4.0. So what Vantage Score 4.0 does is it allows the use of rent, the use of other high credit payoffs, things like that, to actually count towards your credit score. So if you, and it's one of the reasons why things like if you rent right now and you use what's it called, Flex, I think is the name of it. So what Flex does is it splits your rent into two, but because you're not allowed to do that with your apartment complex, what you do is you pay them, let's say 65% of your rent, and then they pay the full rent, and then you pay the rest of it later that month. A lot of people do that, but they also report it to the credit bureaus so that it helps your credit. Well, what Pulte wants to do is he wants to make Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac use the VantageScore 4.0 system that allows for reporting of rent as well, which would allow someone, like me, who has paid his rent on time for 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12 years, to maybe get a bump in my credit score because I've proven that I can pay this. So I'm really excited about that. That could really help a lot of people. The problem is, the thing that's kind of bugs me about it is they've been talking about it for a year, and I haven't seen any movement. This is one of those things that I keep watching and keep looking up because I really want to see VantageScore 4.0 go live. Part of the reason I think it hasn't gone live is because it will disrupt things. It is going to be a big hit to the industry in general. And I think the lenders are afraid of the disruption and the change in, let's call them, clientele. So they're not worried about, people being able to buy a home now. They're worried that the people buying the home won't understand the mortgage, basically. From what I can tell, I've talked to a couple of lenders in very short conversations about it, but beyond that, I don't know. Well, guys, that's gonna be it tonight. Hour 30 minutes, just under. I had fun. I hope. Oh, you know what? I will say this. It does sound like Trump is finally starting to understand that India might not be a great place. Should not help or hurt. I absolutely 100% Hokies. You pay your rent. I mean, your rent will likely be plus or minus $200 of what a mortgage would be. So it should absolutely help your credit score, or at least it shouldn't hurt it. You should be able to get whatever bump you get from having a mortgage and paying that mortgage over and over and over. That bump should be applied to rent as well. But it is nice to see that Trump might be understanding that India is not so great. I'm loving it. We'll see if you do too. Guys, first off, number one, we're going to have a live stream next Thursday. I'm going to really try to be better for at least next week on doing videos. We are pretty damn close. Let's see where we are now. Let me give you all an update. 799 subscribers. If anyone's watching right now, be the 800th. Come on, be the 800th. Hit that subscribe button. 200 more subs. And then $560 more watch hours. Okay. It's going to be close. See, the problem is I need to hit I really need to hit this subscribers. Hang on. Views, subscribers, apply. So I'm going to lose 50 watch hours on May 8th. So I need to try to get another 2 to 3 hours for that. But the good thing is that I don't lose another chunk until June 4th. So the goal is by end of May, another 500 watch hours and another 200 subs. And then we're going to get fully monetized over here. Really excited about that. I did not take nearly as much advantage of the last 3 months as I should have. I was incredibly dumb about that. It will not happen again. I will do much better. We will have much better times over here. Y'all have a great night. We're going to be annual 1 year anniversary stream next Thursday here on April 31st. And Gatekeepers Daimyo and I are going to be doing a stream on Saturday about video games over on King's Advisors. And other than that, see y'all on XCast tomorrow night. Hopefully no one says anything really, really stupid, but we'll see. I did. April 30th. Sorry, April 30th. Oh, my God. Good night.